I am back. As you all know from the last video, I had mentioned that I am currently working a construction job, and it's great. And I figured that it would be the perfect time for me to sort of pass on what I have learned so far. And I wanted to make this to partially to inform and partially to encourage people who are like me, look like me, have similar interests to mine, to, people who have interest in this particular line of work, what I do in my job, what has helped me. I really want to share this passion I have for carpentry and construction. I want to share that with you because it's a side of my personality that doesn't really take the spotlight a whole lot. I also wanted to encourage not only young people, but also young women who want to be in construction who look like me, or who, don't look the construction type, because as you can tell, I'm a very small and skinny person. I don't weigh very much. I probably weigh like 120 pounds, probably less than that now that I've started working out and I've lost some of my body fat, because construction as a profession, as a job, is very much an old boys club. A fair bit of young men in their 20s and 30s working this kind of job, but you'll also, or at least in my experience, you see a lot of older men in their 40s, 50s, 60s continuing working this kind of job because it's something that you do get exponentially better at with experience. And just, I don't know, I don't think enough young people really want to do construction because it's messy and dangerous, and I understand all that, but in particular, young women want to have typically nothing to do with this kind of work, and it's kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say taboo, but it is typically frowned upon by men to see young women who are not, more muscular than average women working in a construction type job. And I just kind of wanted to say that I am proof and an example that you don't need to be, bodybuilder, like muscly to do this kind of work. You're allowed to enjoy like whatever you want. If you're someone who isn't particularly built or muscular, if you don't look like a typical burly lumberjack type man, but you still want to do construction, go do construction. Get an in. Anybody who tells you that you cannot do it, who cares? Literally, who cares? So I wanted to make a couple videos and make sort of a series of carpentry videos as sort of my advice for young, sort of smaller built people who want to do this kind of work. And I kind of wanted to start with the main things that I started with, which is, what do I wear? When I started working, I had no clothes for the work. There was basically no suggestion as to what I should wear except for good shoes, good closed-toed shoes, which is good advice. But I'm going to give you all the advice that you need so that you can get started right. I think the first thing that I would say is that you should start by wearing clothes that you do not care about. Construction and carpentry is messy. It is very dirty. The clothes that you wear to work will not stay clean, ever. Every pair of jeans I've ever worn to work, I have glue, foam, paint, everything that comes out of like a caulking gun is like on those pants. So don't wear clothes that you like to this job because they will get ruined. That goes for the shirts or tank tops that you want to wear as well. I would say particularly for women who want to work in construction, I do not recommend wearing sports bras or anything that has heavy padding, especially if you work in hot climates. That's not going to work for you. Go sort of more of the bralette route. Thinner is better, something breathable. I would suggest if you don't have a lot of tank tops, go get tank tops. Like, tank tops and t-shirts are typically the things that are worn on site, unless you have a uniform that you are supposed to wear as per your job description, your contract, your boss, whatever. Typically, people wear, t-shirts and jeans all the time. I wear tank tops and jeans. I have never once worn a pair of shorts to work. And the reason for that is because you are going to get injured on the job site. That is completely guaranteed. You might not get injured to the point where you need to go to the hospital, but you will get injured. You're going to hit yourself with a hammer. You're going to accidentally slice yourself open with an X-Acto knife. You're going to get bruises, cuts, scrapes all the time. And just, I like wearing thick jeans because it gives sort of that extra layer of protection for my shins, because I come home with bruises all the time. And last week I dropped a wheelbarrow on myself, and even though I was wearing jeans, I have this giant scrape, bruise, gash all the way down the front of my shin, and that was with me wearing pants. So I don't really like wearing shorts. You can wear shorts, but I would just say, choose wisely how much skin you want to show, because the skin that is not covered is the skin that is most likely going to get injured. I would say if you're going to follow what I do and you're going to wear jeans or thick pants, even if you are a woman, buy men's pants. It is a huge bonus. You have extra large pockets, and I just like sort of wearing not necessarily baggy jeans, but looser fitting jeans, because especially if it's hot outside and you're sweating, the last thing I want to feel is my own pants stuck to my legs. It is gross, it is ugly, and I hate it. Also, if you're gonna wear big pants or bigger pants that don't fit sort of snug at the hips, I obviously would suggest getting a good belt. This is just sort of the typical loop belt that I wear. I don't like belts that have like holes and notches. I like just sort of like the double backing of like going through one side of the loop, coming through the other side of the loop, and tightening it. I think that works a lot better, and it allows for more ability to sort of cinch it, because I am a very small person. And then I would suggest wearing long socks as opposed to ankle socks or anything that is shorter. Again, just to, one, keep injury down. Again, the more skin that you cover, the less likely that skin is going to get injured. And also for other reasons, such as ticks, insects, pests, like all these other things. I just like that sort of layer of protection. And depending on the kind of shoes you wear, longer socks will prevent you from getting blisters from the contact, the rubbing of your work shoes. Speaking of work shoes, on my first or second day of work, I wore average running shoes, just average sneakers. Within the first 2 days of working, I stepped on a nail and I felt it go through my shoe and touch my heel. It didn't break the skin, but it totally could have if I didn't stop myself from stepping down. This is sort of the one and done. Buy steel toe boots with the plate in the sole of the foot, so that if you step on a nail, it's not going to go through the shoe and into your foot. Just, it's too dangerous, and I irk thinking about it, so just get good shoes. It's worth the money, I promise you. Here, I'll show you my shoes. These are Aggressor boots. Some steel toe boots don't have this ankle support. They're like really low cut. I don't really like those. I like having the support around my ankles, especially because I have really small legs, so I think that's pretty great. As per I wonder if you can even see it. As per Canadian guidelines, we have this sort of thing where there's this green triangular symbol on all shoes that have been approved guaranteed steel toes. So look for that symbol if you're living in Canada, and those are steel toe boots. Any pair of shoes that has that symbol on it is good. I would also suggest bringing a coat to work, whether that's a windbreaker or a light raincoat, depending on where you live, if it rains often or doesn't rain often. For me, I just have this very large, way too big for me, flannel jacket. It's thick and it's not heavy, but if it suddenly got cold, if it suddenly started snowing in the middle of summer, I would be fine with this. I've worn this in the rain. We've had a couple thunderstorms, and we've had hail and like really heavy rain this summer. So I'm, just have a jacket on standby in case of dramatic weather changes. I also wear a hat every single day. I would suggest getting a hat that has meshy see-through material for airflow. This hat is 2/3 mesh, along with these sort of bigger holes that are punched into every like cutout like pie piece section. This is just a baseball cap that I bought while I was in Ecuador. So I'm not endorsing any kind of like brand or anything. Any old baseball cap will work, but if you want something that's sort of good for the heat, the more airflow that you can get, the better. So I just kind of gave you a crash course of everything that you should wear. I guess I'll go over a couple things that you should not wear. The main thing being you should not wear jewelry on site, whether that is rings, necklaces, any kind of loose earrings or other facial piercings should not be worn on the work site, because those can get hooked on anything and it's just really, really dangerous. Especially for rings, you get that caught in a saw or something, you're gonna lose your hand, you're gonna lose your fingers, and it's just not worth the risk at all. I would never wear clothing that is too loose. Anything that's sort of flapping around, again, you had seen that I secured my work belt to itself. Anything that flies freely should be sort of taped down or secured down just so it doesn't get stuck or caught on anything. Make sure that you dress appropriately for the weather as per wherever you're working. Do not ever wear open-toe shoes on the work site. That is a disaster waiting to happen. I'm not sure if there's other things that I should say, like do not wear, because it's kind of common sense. But yeah, that is my advice for young, skinny people who want to be in construction. That is what you should and should not wear, as per my suggestion. So it totally occurred to me that I forgot to film an outro while I was editing this video. So the next video that you're going to see in the Deut construction series is going to be me talking about safety equipment. I was debating putting the steel toe boots in the safety section of this series, but I decided it would fit better in this video and it flows a lot nicer. But all the safety equipment will be in the next video, so I'll see you then. Bye!